Hi, this is David with David's Tutorials and vlog post number 23-17. In this vlog post, I'm going to tell you about health tips, especially rule number 1 for maintaining your health and losing weight. Now, this vlog post is the third one that I have made in my new health tips playlist. So you can see in the upper right hand corner there's a little card there that if you click on that, it will take you to the playlist. I've also got a link down in the description section below. And by the way, for those of you not watching this on the YouTube platform, if you click on the YouTube logo either in the lower left or the lower right hand corner of the video, that will take you to the YouTube platform wherever you are, and there you can leave the comments, you can read the description, and you can subscribe and like and all the other great things that we love people to do for our videos here on YouTube. Now, what this one is about is rule number 1 for weight loss and weight control, and I'm going to tell you about that right now. Now, rule number 1 for weight loss and weight control is very simple, and when people hear it, they roll their eyes and heave a big sigh and saying, well, I knew that. And the rule, of course, is don't eat when you're not hungry. That's the same rule that anybody needs to follow if they want to control their health and control their weight. Now, rule number 1 is very difficult to follow. As simple as it sounds, it's something that people have a very difficult time physically and emotionally complying with because there are so many reasons that people eat when they're not hungry, and that's what I'm going to go into. But before I do that, I'm going to give you a preview of one of the future videos I'm going to make in the health tips series, and that is priority number 1, which is ahead of rule number 1 in importance, is you have to correct your diet balance. And I promise you this, if you correct your diet balance basically so that you don't overdose on carbs, your intent to focus on rule number 1 will be much more successful than if you don't. Let's get started. Now, I'm going to have to look at my list over here on the other side and read what these are because I don't have all of these memorized in the list format. And so please forgive me if I look off to the side for just a second during the video and read what's up next. The number 1 reason, and this is not number 1 in priority, but just number 1 on the list, the number 1 reason that people eat when they're not hungry is to be social. How many times have you ever gone into a meeting or a gathering or any social event and there's food set out right there and everybody's just helping themselves and just having a marvelous time eating that food, and you want to be social, so you help yourself and take a little bit of that food? Well, if you're not hungry, guess what? You might not want to take so much of that food, and when you do, be very careful what you take, that it's not loaded with sugar and loaded with flour and starches and other sorts of things. Look for the meats, look for the vegetables, look for that sort of thing that just do not overdose you with the carbohydrates. So if you want to eat to be social, be judicious. That's one reason people eat when they're not hungry, just to be social. Another reason people eat when they're not hungry is because somebody else is urging you to. Now, it wasn't that long ago. I had a friend, he was in the car with me and he had this pack of cookies and he shoved it at me and he said, here, have one of these, they're really good. And I said, no thanks, I'm just not eating that kind of stuff right now. Oh, come on, eat it, it's good, you'll love it. I said, no, I'm just not eating that stuff right now. And he heaved a big sigh and he rolled his eyes at me and he's thinking, good grief, it's only one, one's not going to kill you. I mean, what is he trying to do? Why is it so important to him that I eat his cookie? Somebody urges you to eat something, you generally are going to yield to it and give in and eat one. And I am a little bit ashamed to say I did eat one cookie, but it was only one. And if somebody is urging you to eat and you're not hungry, go ahead and keep in mind that your waistline and your health is more important than them wanting you to eat what they're urging you to eat. Now, that's just one way of looking at it. Another reason people eat when they're not hungry is because it's there. How many times have you gone through a room and you see food sitting out on the counter, or you know there's food in the cabinet and, oh, that would be really good. I think I'll have some of that. Well, you know what to do. But if you just are aware of the fact that you will be tempted to eat just because it's there, you can go ahead and fight that. Okay, that's another reason people eat when they're not hungry, because it's there. The fifth reason people eat when they're not hungry is because you still have room. Oh, I've got room. I could eat that. Well, think about that. If you come to the point, most of the way through a meal and you realize, hey, I'm full enough, it's okay to quit eating. Yes, you have room. I could eat that. Sure, I could eat that. And if you do that, then the next time you do that, you will be more full. And, well, I could eat that and you'll get more full. And pretty soon your capacity will expand and you really don't want that. So if you get to be moderately full and you still have some left, it's okay to quit. Don't eat just because it's there. Another reason people eat when they're not hungry, reason number 6, is, there's just a little bit left. I can finish that off. I'm not hungry. I'm not going to eat it. It's okay to throw it away. I promise you, the children in Bangladesh or Zimbabwe, they're not going to starve because you don't eat those last few morsels on your plate. If you're full, throw it away, get rid of it, give it away, give it to the dog. It doesn't matter. Just you don't eat it. One of the more insidious reasons people eat when they're not hungry is because it's time to eat. How many times have you gotten to the time of day when it's time that you're supposed to be having breakfast or lunch or your supper or dinner, whatever you call it, and okay, I'm not really hungry, but I need to eat right now because it's time. This is not the best reason to eat something. Now, if you're in a situation where you know, if I don't eat my noon meal right now, I've got 6 hours I'm going to have to work before I get a chance to eat again. And I know I'm going to be totally starving by the end of that time. You might want to eat something at this point. Be sure you eat something that's protein and some fat, not the carbohydrates. The carbohydrates will just make you hungrier, but eat something and it will tide you over. Just don't eat a full meal if you're not that hungry, okay? Another reason people eat when it's not hungry is because it tastes so good. How many times have you gotten a little morsel or a piece of something, a bite of ice cream or a milkshake or a chocolate cream pie or a piece of fried chicken or a biscuit with butter melting on it, and you taste it and man, that is so good. I've just got to have another one. You realize you're not hungry, but you go ahead and you do it anyway. So this is a reason people eat when they're not hungry, is because it tastes so good. You just need to recognize that and avoid it. If you're not hungry, don't eat. It's that simple. It really is. But there are many reasons people eat when they're not hungry. These are some of them. The number 9 reason I have on my list why people eat when they're not hungry is because somebody else is eating. If you're in a gathering or a meeting or in your office or at home and somebody says to you, hey, I'm hungry. I think I'm going to go get a bag of chips. You want some? And of course, the tendency is to say, oh, sure, I'll have some, even if you're not hungry. Okay, we've been there. We've done that. We know it's not the right thing to do. So if you want to control your health, control your waistline, get control of your weight, then if you're not hungry and somebody else says, hey, I'm going to get a snack. You want one? It's okay to say, I'm not hungry, but thanks. So we can move on from that. Another reason people eat when they're not hungry is for entertainment. I remember back several years ago when my wife and I were first getting together, we would go out for rides sometime and we'd think, hey man, it'd be fun to stop and get a milkshake or stop here and get some of these cookies. And, we'd do that and it was just a fun thing to do, even if we weren't hungry. And of course, if you do that consistently, you're going to get in trouble with your waistline, with your belt, with whatever it is that you use to measure whether you are overweight or not. So if you're not hungry, just recognize that. And if you're trying to think of something fun to do and you want some entertainment, go do something else. Anything but eat, okay? You understand that by now, I'm sure. Let's keep moving on. How many times have you gone walking through your kitchen and you figured, hey, there's some good snacks in that cabinet. I think I'm going to grab one. You're in the kitchen, and a kitchen means food, and food means, I should have some of that. We can all say it together now, right? Don't eat if you are not hungry. That's the watchword we need to be keeping in our mind, our mantra all the time if we want to control our weight. Another reason people eat when they're not hungry is they see this food, they know they've had it a long time, and it's about to go bad. And they say, golly, if I don't eat this food now, it's going to go bad and I'll have to throw it away. Yeah. So you've had it a week, or you've had it a month, or you've had it so long that it's growing green fur and starting to crawl out of your refrigerator. It doesn't matter. If you're not hungry, you don't need to eat it, and it's okay to throw it away. So don't worry about food that's about to go bad. Just go ahead and pretend it went bad and get rid of it. How about when you're watching TV or you go to the movies? How many people out there have gone to the movies and had a snack in their pocket? Raise your hand. Let me see it. Yeah, I can see it right now. There's about 90% of you out there that have gone to the movie and you took a snack in your pocket because you didn't want to have to pay the outrageous prices that the movie theater charges. I agree that you should keep in mind that, golly, if I bought this thing in the theater, it's going to cost me $8 and I can get it at home and just bring it in for 50 cents. And then you get this victorious feeling, yeah, I sure put one over on the theater police. And if they catch you, you can say something like, well, have you ever heard of the Americans with Disabilities Act? I'm not allowed to eat carbohydrates, and that's all you have at the concession stand. If you can show me any snacks at the concession stand that are carb-free, I'll be happy to consider them. But that's just neither here nor there. The fact is, you have gone many times as long as a movie or a TV show without eating. So just because a movie is on, or a TV show is on, or you can smell the popcorn that they blow the aroma into the theater, or the cinnamon roasted almonds blowing that aroma, and you're like, oh man, that smells so good, I got to go get a snack. You don't need one. You can last, so just don't worry about it. Don't do it. Another reason people eat when they're not hungry is a habit. You're just in the habit of eating something at a particular time, or because it's been so long since you've eaten something before. And if you don't eat something, oh man, I feel hungry. Well, here's a good watchword to keep in mind. Whenever you feel hungry, that's the feeling of losing weight. And if you keep that in mind, it'll help you get over this, oh, I've got to have something to eat right now. The final reason I have in my book, and this is reason number 15 on this list, was eating because somebody else fixed it, and you don't want to hurt their feelings. You don't want them to feel bad because you didn't want to eat it. This is a false dilemma. When somebody fixes something and brings it to you, it's okay to say, oh, that is so nice of you to think of me and to bring me this, whatever it is that you brought me, this casserole, this dessert dish, this whatever it is, this salad. It's okay to tell them, you know, I'm not really hungry right now and I'm not supposed to eat when I'm not hungry, but let me save this and I'll check it out later and I'll let you know how delicious it is. And if they insist you take a taste right now, well, it's probably okay to just take a little taste and to crow over, oh, you know, this is so good. I can't wait until it's time for a meal and I'm going to go ahead and really appreciate this. And you can gush all over it. And I can't help it, but it does remind me of when a 4-year-old brings you this crayon drawing and they proudly present it to you and you take it and you look at it and you say, oh, this is so beautiful. I'm going to put it up on my refrigerator. And sometimes when somebody brings you some food, I kind of get that feeling. I have to say, oh, this is so beautiful. I'm going to put it in my refrigerator. I know it's not always that way, and frequently it's really, really good, and then you had to fall back on your other techniques of not eating when you're not hungry because it's so good, and I just am not going to eat more than I need to eat of it. But that is another reason people eat when they're not hungry, is because somebody else made it, and you don't want to hurt their feelings, so don't hurt their feelings. Gush over it and tell them how good it looks and how you just can't wait to try it when it's mealtime. But you don't have to eat it right this minute. The final reason I have, and this is not in my book, but I'm going to put it in the second edition of the book, which I hope to have come out this year in 2023, if I get the time to put it all together, is eating because you're stressed. So many people, they get feeling bad about something, they get stressed out over something. Now, food is a comfort item. And a lot of times there are comfort foods that are just delicious. And you want to feel better and you're under stress, and one of the only ways you can think of to feel better is to go eat something. Yeah. I don't want to tell you not to eat when you're stressed, but don't eat a lot when you're stressed. Now, there are people in the world, and I think most morbidly obese people started out this way, is they got stressed and so they sought comfort by eating food, and what they were feeling bad about was being overweight. And of course, they sought comfort by eating food, and guess what happened to their weight? It got a little bit bigger, and then they felt worse about themselves, and so they went and they ate some more, and they got bigger, and they felt worse about themselves until they got to the point where they are now what is called morbidly obese. If you're feeling stressed out, there are many things you can do to alleviate that stress. One of the things I heard about was a clinical psychologist one time was asked, if I am really depressed and feeling down about whatever's going on in my life, what can I do? And the psychologist drew himself up and he said very haughtily, close the door on your way out to go help somebody else. And I think that's a great idea. Get your mind off of yourself and your own worries and go help somebody else. Go volunteer at a soup kitchen. Go volunteer at a homeless shelter. Go volunteer at a church or some other charity. Go find something to do that will produce another stream of income for yourself so that you can get over, if your stress is financial, you can get over that. But there are many, go mow your yard, go train your dog. It doesn't matter. There are many things you can do besides eating to help get over stress. But the main thing on that is distraction, and that's a technique for raising kids. And I'm going to get into that in a future video. Let me go ahead right now and read you all 16 reasons why people eat when they're not hungry. Let me scroll back up to the top of the list here. Number 1, you eat to be social. Number 2, you eat because somebody's urging you to eat. Not good. Number 3, eating because it's there. Number 4, eating because you're bored. That's a reason that people eat when they're not hungry. Number 5, eating because you have room. Oh yeah, I could eat that. Yeah, but do you need it? Reason number 6, eating because there's just a little bit left. I can finish that off and I won't have to throw it away. Throw it away. Reason number 7, eating because it's time to eat. Well, if it's time to eat and I'm not hungry, I'll just wait if I can. Reason number 8, eating because it tastes so good. I ate a little bit of it and it's so good, I've just got to have some more. Reason number 9, eating because someone else is eating. Just because they're eating doesn't mean you have to eat. Reason number 10, eating for entertainment. Hey, that sounds like a fun thing to do. Let's go get a milkshake. Not a good reason. Eating because you are in the kitchen. Yep, I'm walking through the kitchen. Ooh, that sounds good. I think I'm going to grab some of that snack. Don't want to do that. Don't want to eat if I'm not hungry. Reason number 12, eating because it's about to go bad. Ooh, if I don't eat that right now, I'll have to throw it away. Well, guess what? Don't eat it. Go ahead and throw it away. Reason number 13, eating while watching TV or a movie. You don't need to eat just because you're watching TV or a movie. Only eat when you're hungry, right? Reason number 14, eating out of habit. Oh, it's been a while since I've eaten something. I feel like I ought to be hungry, so I'll eat something. Nope. Make sure you're really hungry before you eat. Reason number 15, eating because somebody fixed it and you don't want to hurt their feelings by not eating it. That's not a really good reason. And reason number 16 is eating because of stress. These are all reasons that people eat when they're not hungry, and if you pay attention to these reasons and you recognize them, and whenever you feel the urge to eat for any reason, ask yourself this question: am I really hungry? And the chances are going to be that you're not. Rule number 1, everybody together, don't eat if you're not hungry. Priority number 1, which will enable you to observe rule number 1, is correct your diet balance. And we're going to get into that in a future video. Thanks so much for watching and for staying all the way to the end. If you like this video and you think it's worth recommending to other people, give me that thumbs up and YouTube will know to recommend it to other people. Leave me a comment down in the comment section if you think of other reasons people eat when they're not hungry. If you thought some of these reasons that I told you were a little bit out to lunch, so to speak, then go ahead and tell me that in the comment section. And if you have some other things you need to ask, go ahead and put those in the comment section down below. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much. I appreciate every single one of you. And if you're not a subscriber, please go ahead right now, click that subscribe button and then the bell icon, and YouTube will let you know by email whenever I post another video right here on David's Tutorials and Vlog. In the meantime, I hope you have an absolutely wonderful rest of your day, week, month, year, whatever, and take care, everybody.